Our conversation with Jim Dougherty, the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival, is brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Jim, good morning.
Hey, how's it going there, Todd?
Wonderful, wonderful. And I know it's a really, really busy time for you, and I thank you for joining us here this morning, taking some time out of what is going to be a really busy weekend for you. The Northern Appalachian.
It's crunch time. I have a great group of all volunteer people that have been working hard, and we're having a kickoff event tonight at 6:30 at the Indiana Players, which is located at 725 Philadelphia Street.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to feature a documentary, a 52-minute documentary on the CCC camps of the 1930s. And CCC is for the Civilian Conservation Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in existence from 1933 to 1942.
It's a pretty amazing organization that was formed as part of Roosevelt's New Deal. And certainly it put men and women, particularly men, though, to work at a time when there weren't jobs around, and the government actually ended up creating them. And CCC did amazing work, and some of that work is still on display and evident around our area.
That's correct. And I think what we need to do is contextualize why this was created. And there were two disharmonic convergent events that occurred. One was the clear cutting of the old growth forests in Pennsylvania, in our area. Mm-hmm. There were no regulations. It amounted to basically raping the old growth of the forest. Everything was cut down, clear cutting. If you look at any of the old photographs of that period of time, the teens in the 1920s and even to the 30s, old photographs of company towns, and you look on the hillsides, you don't see any trees. It's all gone. And not only did it eliminate all the forests, but it eliminated the entire ecology of the land. Insects, birds, deer were affected. All the animals were affected. And another was that it exposed the soil to rain, and that resulted in a lot of flooding. So it was an ecological disaster on that side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into 1929, and that was the total collapse of the economy. President Hoover was always telling the American people that recovery is coming around the corner. He kept on telling us that, and it never occurred. And that resulted in FDR becoming elected. And by the 1930s, early 1930s, the United States, for all practical purposes, was a third world country. Wall Street had no legitimacy anymore. The banks didn't have any legitimacy. The government didn't have any legitimacy. This resulted in rebellion. There were soup lines, bread lines. The Communist Party made a big comeback by the late 1920s and the 1930s. The Socialist Party did as well. So there was fear that the United States was on the verge of a revolution. And so that's what FDR inherited. And one of his approaches, was the CCC camp, which was a way of employing the unemployed. And they did. They built the old state parks that still exist today. The state forests that were created at that time. Roads through the forest were created. And the men that worked, they got paid $30 a month. And I have it figured out here, $30 in 1933 is equal to $614 a month today.
Mm-hmm.
And out of that $30, they would send $5 home. I mean, they would send $25 home to their family, and the workers kept $5. And $5 in 1933 is $102 a month today.
Yeah, yeah. I was just at Fort McHenry outside of Baltimore last month, and a lot of the work there, the brickwork, was done by CCC. Tell me about the documentary film itself that folks can see tonight.
Yes, it's a 52-minute documentary. It provides a overview of the CCC camps, how they got started. They have 4 interviews with men that worked in the CCC camps, and they talk about what they did, how many hours they worked. They were able to get 3 meals a day. They, were in barracks in some cases. In other cases, they lived in tents. Around here in Indiana County, there was a major CCC camp near the Kinter Farm, south of the Marion Center, along the Sonoma Road.
Yeah.
There was a camp in Chilocta. There's a little camp in Homer City. Most of those around here, they were involved in reclamation projects, planting trees and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's what the others did as well. My father worked at the Parker Dam State Park and in 1939, and the log cabins that they made there, they created a dam. It's a major swimming area, a public swimming area for people from Penfield and DuBois and Clearfield. It's very popular. And my dad was totally impacted by that experience, and I learned a lot about the CC camps from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Who put this film together?
It was an organization called DICCOM, which I don't know much about.
Uh-huh.
And it was produced, I think, in 1998.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it's 52 minutes and provides that historical overview.
So it'll be shown tonight at the Philadelphia Street Playhouse. What time, and is there a fee? Can people just come and go? Or
yeah, it's free.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And it's 6:30, and then following the showing, we're going to have a question and answer period.
Mm-hmm.
There's a person from an organization called Reimagining Appalachia, and she's going to talk about contemporary efforts to bring back the CCC camp.
Uh-huh.
In fact, Senator Casey has a proposal in that's part of the economic stimulus proposal to bring back the CCC camps and to address environmental concerns. We're seeing the decline in coal in our area, and there's concern about what's going to happen to the coal miners. And this is one possibility. In many ways, what we're facing today is not that different in a large sense than what happened in the 1930s with a ecological disaster and a economic disaster. We have global warming. That's our economic disaster today. And then, of course, the transition of our economy from an industrial economy to a service sector type of economy, which, we're like right in the middle of it. And this is causing all kinds of issues regarding jobs and quality of jobs and living wages and so forth.
I think the showing of the film tonight and what you've just been speaking about talks to the different nature of the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival. It's more than your typical music festival. There's certainly plenty of that. But
right.
There's so much more to experience with the Folk Festival. And so for folks who want to learn more, about what's going to be happening at the festival itself and watching these things unfold and enjoying them over the weekend, what's the best resource for them to turn to?
The best resource is our website, which is NAFFINC.org.
NAFINC.org. That's N
right.
as in Northern Appalachian Folk Festival. It's happening this weekend. Jim, of course, as you said, this is just a kickoff event tonight. This is one of a number of events that will be taking place over the next couple of days.
That's correct, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right.
Our music part begins on Friday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the 500 block of Philadelphia Street.
Yeah, and that's a traffic note as well for folks to understand that.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be shut down by 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow.
Yeah. So all of that will be happening and unfolding here this weekend. The Northern Appalachian Folk Festival is here. Jim Dougherty, thanks so much for visiting with us this morning.
Thank you. I hope people can come out tonight.
Yeah, me too. It sounds like a great night. Have yourself a great day today.
Okay, thanks, Todd. Bye. Thanks, Todd. Bye.